Is this thing on? Are we rolling? Are we on? All right. What's up, everybody? Austin Tweedy here from the Throttle Out Show, and we're doing something a little different tonight. We're not live. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me and how I got my start in monster trucks, which began when I was in third grade. My parents bought a ride truck, and we toured the country. My parents would take and pull me out of school. Hey, I'm really thirsty. We got something to drink? What? Oh, it's much better. I am really thirsty right now. Oh, yeah, that's good. Anyways, thank you so much. So anyways, my parents would pull me out of school as a kid, and we would just go to Phoenix, Arizona for a monster truck show. And just got to do a lot of cool things as a kid. And then from there, my dad got into racing monster trucks, raced Captain USA, the race truck, and then moved into the Bigfoot seat. And like I said, being that I got to see and do a lot of cool things as a kid, one of those times I'm talking about is going to Anaheim, California. And we brought out the very first Chevrolet Bigfoot monster truck. Such a cool opportunity. I was a senior in high school, and I actually got to escort my dad into the Anaheim Convention Center while he's driving the truck, and I'm guiding him, showing him where he's going to park. Very cool moment for me. And then after that, I got into announcing shows, actually getting behind the microphone as a senior in high school, and I started announcing monster truck shows by myself, I might add. I learned a little bit from Chris Thornton, and then from there, just took off on my own. And then right about that time, I graduated high school. I announced my last show, and my dad decided it was time for him to step away from monster trucks. And my entire family took a break from monster trucks. In that amount of time, I moved to Dallas, Texas, began my career as an electrician. Then I graduated, I took my test, I got my license, and that's what I did for 6 years. And it just so happened that during that time, my dad and I are obviously always in contact with each other, talk to each other all the time. And we would call each other, and he'd be like, hey, I think it's about time we get back into monster trucks. I'm like, I don't know that it's time to get back right now. And it just so happened, after about 6 years of living in Texas, that some circumstances opened the door for me to get into monster trucks full time. And I decided, you know what? Why not? So I got back on the road with my pops. We traveled up to Canada, to California, all the way around America, and then he got me hooked up with David Zieres in the XDP Extreme Diesel monster truck. And we did a first quarter tour together at Monster Jam, which is very hard for me, being that I grew up in a Bigfoot family, and we had nothing to do with Monster Jam growing up, but I got in it, and I loved it. And we toured first quarter, didn't do very well. We broke a lot as a young crew chief who really shouldn't have been a crew chief at the time. I learned a lot, though, at the same time. And there were some guys in Monster Jam that caught wind of me staying up all night, working on the truck, not knowing what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to make lemonade out of lemons. And so then we get back on the road. I'm changing tires on the side of the road at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of a blizzard. And some guys in Monster Jam caught wind of that. So once first quarter ended, went back up home, hung out with my family for a little bit. And I get a call from somebody at Monster Jam, and they wanted to know if I could come work for the company as a crew guy. And I thought about it for a couple of weeks, and I decided, you know what, why not? So I packed up, went on down to Tampa, Florida. And from then on out, just a bunch of doors opened up for me. Got the crew for a lot of famous future Hall of Fame Monster Jam drivers. And I actually got to do a first quarter tour crewing for both Becky McDonough and Todd LeDuc. I learned so much from both Dan Fiegel and Andrew Blessing and a lot of other experienced crew guys on that tour. And it came down to the very last show of the season, and LeDuc was just ahead by the skin of his teeth up against John Zimmer and Chucky Pauken. And it came down to the last show in New Orleans at the Superdome, and he was able to pull out the victory, win the overall. He even lost a transmission in racing. And we were able to wrench on the truck, get it back out, and he ended up winning the freestyle and the overall, and we won the entire tour. Such a humbling moment for me to be able to stand on the truck with Fiegel and Todd and raise that trophy up or go into World Finals. Such an amazing moment for me and in my career of monster trucking. And this is just in my first year at Monster Jam as a crew guy. And I decided that after that first quarter, after that World Finals in Orlando, maybe it's time for me to take a step towards driving. That's ultimately what I got into this to do, is to drive. So I left Monster Jam on good terms. Had nothing to do with not wanting to work at Monster Jam. I just wanted to drive. And Matt Pagliarulo called me up and he said, "Hey, I got a seat for you next summer if you come crew for me for our first quarter." And I said, "Well, this just might be it for me." So I went for it, and we had success together. Our very first show of the year, he won freestyle in the overall at his first ever stadium event, and it was such an emotional night for all of us involved. And we get down to one of the last shows of the season, going into Detroit. Then COVID hit, canceled the show. Harley, me, the Pagliarulos packed up, went back down to Orlando, and we were paying attention to what's going on in the news. And next thing you know, shows keep getting canceled. Harley and I decided that it's time, hey, maybe we just go ahead. We move back to Texas. We decided to move back to Texas, both Harley and myself. And I restarted my career as an electrician. That's what I'm doing right now. And it's all good because we've got the Throttle Out show now. And what we're doing is we're giving you an in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at all the latest and greatest that's happening in the monster truck community. We've had a lot of fun with this since we started this in February of this year, which is 2021. And who knows where this road is going to take us. We've got a lot of support right now. We got a lot of things in the works. This show is owned by Harley Johnson, just so everybody knows, my fiance, soon to be Tweedy, I might add. And who knows where this road is going to take us. But we thank you for all your support, for watching our shows. We got our merch store coming up soon. And remember, this all began whenever I got on my first day at Monster Jam. And I got to work with, and I got to meet my buddy, Austin Spence, who is also our co-host for the show, for the Throttle Out show. One of my very best friends. And who knows where this road is going to take us. I never would have thought that carpooling with that guy all the way to field headquarters every day, that at some point we were going to start a talk show together about monster trucks between me, him, and Harley, and his wife, Katie Spence. We were going to be able to create something really special here. We thank you all so much for tuning in each and every week and watching our shows. And remember, NASCAR sucks, but also remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out.